Hey everyone, welcome to THS Wrestling. I am Neeson. This is Jimmy. But you're not here for us. You're here for a former winner of WBFF. You're here for she has a degree in speech pathology, which it's amazing. Also, she's God's greatest creation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mandy Rose.
Thank you, guys. Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you doing?
What an introduction.
Oh, I try. What inspired you this morning?
Oh, this morning. Wow. It's honestly, being out in LA right now, there's so many things that I have planned and so many things that are in the works that I can't really say right now. It's top secret, but you'll find out soon.
Okay, stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. So honestly, being out here, just all my goals that I've always, wanted to get to eventually are coming true. They're coming to fruition. And that's when I wake up in the morning, I know, I'm motivated and I want to wake up and get all that done. So that's what inspired me this morning.
That's a great that's a great list of inspirations to wake up to. Especially achieving things that you always want to achieve.
Yeah.
I think that also inspires other people, right?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Coming from the fitness world, like I said, you did win the WBFF.
Yeah.
Do you still keep eyes on that and track on that? And do you miss it?
Yeah, I do miss it. I do follow up. I'm very close with the owners of the company and all the girls. I just ran into one of the girls actually yesterday out here at the gym. Yeah. And it's kind of what started my whole career. So it was kind of almost like the foundation, the beginning. I never thought that I'd get into bodybuilding or fitness competitions. Also never thought I'd get into wrestling too. So
here we are.
Yeah, here we are. You never know where you end up, but it was like the beginning of me kind of finding myself, finding a different path of like this, this life that I didn't think that I would be in, being on stage. It's all kind of relative in a way. I was, competing in a bikini and worked my butt off and got to this amazing shape. But then, of course, it helped me with, having a presence on stage in WWE. So it's all kind of relative. Definitely different, though. Fighting in the ring is definitely different than walking in high heels.
I would guess so. I've never done one of those things. So,
well, yeah. But it's awesome, and I'm super grateful for everyone that kind of always saw something in me too from the moment I walked on stage too. So,
wow, that's incredible.
So from going to bodybuilding competition and then jumping to Tough Enough, where you're in reality television competition, what are some of the differences that that you came across, or some of the things that you might have brought over as far as presenting yourself to the general public?
So I would say just being comfortable, in front of the camera. I didn't have any, growing up, I grew up with 3 older brothers, so, and a pretty strict Italian father. So I wasn't the loudest. My brothers kind of took over most of the time. I was a little bit shy growing up. So I feel like once I got out into the real world and, into competing and bodybuilding and kind of finding myself and then a reality show, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. It was a whole new world for me, but I kind of just my biggest thing is I didn't really, I didn't know anything, but I just went with the flow. I listened to the people that I had, good vibes from and good energy from. And I kind of took it, took everything with a grain of salt because I didn't really know much, but I kind of just went with it. And I feel like, I'm very blessed. I have to say I'm very blessed. I had a lot of good people in my corner, I have to say. And, I mean, just getting myself used to being in front of the camera. And it was all I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I never, never stepped foot in a ring. I didn't wrestle. I didn't have a background with that. I always played sports. I was very athletic. And I, of course, wrestled with my brothers and stuff. I was tough. I had it in me.
Right.
But, there was a lot to learn. And I went to that tryout, not knowing anything, but, I was in probably the best shape of my life, I have to say, as far as cardio and all that, which you need to be, because that tryout was the hardest thing I've ever put myself through. It was insane. Yeah. But it was one of those things I didn't know much, and it just drove me to I'm gonna get this, you know what I mean? It was competition for me, and I love that. And just gave it my all, and they saw something in me. And my biggest thing I remember when I finally got with a mic was like, I wanted to prove to everyone out there that like, I'm not just a pretty face. I'm not just, a Barbie doll because of the way I look, and people perceive me like that when I walk into a room. And that's why people make comparisons like to Trish Stratus, a similar, kind of similar career in that sense. But that was my biggest thing. And I remember, standing in that competition when we had to go in, we were in bikinis and we were in front of a mic. So I was all like confident about that because I was just the, 2014 Bikini World Champion. So I was like, oh, this is easy. But I didn't know what to say. I was, but I remember like that was my main focus. Like I'm more than, I'm so much more than just a pretty face. So I guess that sold them. I don't know.
I think that's such an amazing just aspect to have, right? Like like, yes, I do come off as this, but I'm not this.
Right.
And then you have to turn around and fall on your back.
Yeah, exactly.
And pretend like it doesn't hurt and get back up, right?
Exactly. And follow through, yeah.
Right. And so how was that first, like what went through your mind taking that first bump?
Oh gosh.
Like what, like hitting that mat and just having that half a second of like, oh.
Yeah. Oof.
Ow.
If I could remember,
you have to push yourself to roll, to get back up.
Yeah. It was like it just shocks your whole body. Like, people think, oh, like, you hear stories like, oh, there's a pad though or whatever. Like, no, it's not like that. And, you train years to perfect falling and the way you're, supposed to be safe with it and all that. So like, there's so much to it. But I think, I almost think because my adrenaline was so like, I was so pumped and so focused on making it there that like, I just did it. And I don't remember feeling as much. I almost feel like I remember feeling more like when I finally got to NXT and I was training and practicing and like, you'd be sore the next days or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was really sore after the tryouts. Like I remember I had all marks from running the ropes. Yeah. They had that on like video and, so you just don't know what you're doing. So it's like your body is just like, what is this? That it just doesn't, it's so new.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
How much did you pick up going from Tough Enough to jumping to NXT and then doing those house show loops? You're in front of an audience, but it's very, very small compared to the normal television audience. How much did you learn going through that entire process, knowing that what it may lead to in the future?
It was all such a learning experience. Like, honestly, the mistakes I've made and, the critiques and the coaches weren't like, they weren't easy on you. It was very like, and which was good. I'd rather that. I don't want, people blowing smoke up my, don't want to curse, but like, I'd rather that because that's how you learn and all right. that. So, there's so many things that you would learn from and you would, just keep practicing. And then like, we would watch ourselves. Obviously it was a lot of film, a lot of like studying and, it's a lot of work and it's like a whole different world for me. So it was very different. But, I think having a good, like, I don't know, a lot of people talk about this in the business, but it's like, if you have certain things that you can hold on to and like, a good presence or like, let's say you could speak or you could talk well on the mic and you just, sometimes, you can play around with the other stuff and make it look as good. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of acting and it's having that aura about you, that presence too. So I know I was very confident. Even if I didn't know what I was doing, it was kind of like I almost made them believe that I did. And they saw that too, which is a big thing, I think, looking back at everything. But there were so many things we've learned from live events because that was like our practice, that was like practice for us every time. And by the time we thought that we were ready for TV or the coaches thought we were ready for TV, then it was like a big moment, in NXT especially because that was your first time.
Wow. You say when you thought you were ready for TV and coaches thought you were ready for TV, it just brings up, like I said, you have one of the best knee strikes in the business.
Oh, thanks.
Like legitimately one of the best knee strikes in the business. Your moveset is interesting because you are powerful, you are strong, and yet you are the athleticism that you have coupled with that. It brings, you don't see a strong wrestler usually throw knee strikes like that. You usually see more power moves, but you do both. Did that all come about in NXT? Like you working with who helped you build your moveset as it is? Because I look at it, especially after the SummerSlam match, what we would get to, but that put it all together. I was like, her moveset is really unique, and it could really be different from the roster.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I would say the help with like our coaches, Sarah Amato and Sarah Stock as well. She was a big help, and I'm pretty sure it was Sarah Amato that thought that I could do a good bicycle knee. I don't know why. It was like a random day, and she's like, I feel like you could do a good bicycle knee. And I was like, yeah. I was like, show me. Like, I'm like, what's that? You know?
yeah.
And like, because I'm a visual learner too, and when they actually all used to make fun of me, it was a joke. But when it came to, I didn't have wrestling background, and I didn't really watch wrestling growing up. I knew of like the big names and with my brothers, but I wasn't a huge fan. So a lot of like the moves and stuff I didn't really know. So like I used to write down the moves in my notepad that I had. And I used to like misspell them. Like they'd laugh at me because we used to talk about like a snap mar, and I used to call it like it's snap mirror, but I used to say snap mar. Yeah, snap mirror. Yeah. So they would joke around, whatever. But a lot of times like that, she'd be like, "Oh, you could do this," and I was like, "Show me," and I would watch, and then it became my my best move, which. And I always wanted to just like focus mostly on more power moves because I do have the strength. But I feel like I'm more of like a tweener though too. Yeah. Like I'm not your biggest, women wrestler. Like I'm definitely like I'm petite and I'm small. Of course I'm strong, but I kind of like having the room for both.
That makes your comebacks even more bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I think it speaks to your versatility as well.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Speaking of versatility, from being in the ring to being on reality TV again with Total Divas. Can you tell us what that experience was like? And is there any possibility we could get a Mandy and Otis show on E?
Oh, I don't know. It would be a good show, though. I'm not going to lie.
I know I'd watch.
I think the fans would want to see that,
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kardashians just left, so
yeah,
it's
so
a spot
there
open.
is a spot.
There's a spot.
Yeah, good point. But to your question, with the reality show one, what was that about before that? Sorry. Now I'm so focused on Mandy and Otis.
She's thinking like, well,
I mean,
that's basically going from like
somebody on this.
Basically going from like a reality competition show to something like Total Divas, which it's still reality, but it's a whole different end of the spectrum.
And also being on there before debuting on the main roster.
So that's what I was gonna bring up.
Right.
Is, a lot of people don't realize when I first got put on Total Divas, I didn't know any of the women. I haven't stepped foot in a ring. I just got off of another reality show, Tough Enough, where I was the biggest BITCH on the show. And these women were looking at me like that have put time in, obviously, the Bella Twins, Rosa Mendez, Eva Marie, like that have done all this, and Natalia. It was all the women that have been wrestling for a long time, and they were looking at like, who's this newbie? So, and then it was the battle of like, okay, do I come on and just like be like nasty and but I was like, no, because these are women that I'm gonna, regardless of reality TV or not, these are women that I want to respect me because I'm gonna be working with them, and I want to shed a good light in the beginning, whatever. So, but it was very stressful because it was reality TV, we all know. So it was a lot, and I had to focus on training as well. It was very much instilled in me that it was like, we need to make sure you're in the ring training, but I'm like, okay, but I'm also filming, and we were going to Raw and SmackDown filming. It was when SmackDown was on Tuesdays too, so it'd be Monday night, Tuesday night. I'd fly home Wednesdays. I'd rush to the PC and train, but like the schedule on the PC was like, you only had ring training like a couple days, so I missed a lot. So it's kind of why I couldn't really continue with Total Divas too, because I really needed to learn how to wrestle. So, but anyway, it was a lot, and I was thrown into it right from Tough Enough, and it was just very stressful, and but it was a great experience, and a lot of the girls were great to me, and we had a lot of fun. But it was definitely a learning experience. It was, I don't know, it was crazy when I think about that time.
You said you wanted to come across humble, and I mean, I say you came across humble to me. Like you came across, you reminded me of when Renee joined, and people were like, what's Renee's character on the show, what she's doing on the show. But it's just very like, she's the perfect homegirl that doesn't really cause any drama. Like that's just about having fun. And that's just there to listen to you, you vent about something, and I thought that was an interesting pull for WWE to do that, or for E or whoever made the call to do that, because it allowed this whole fan base. My sister watches Total Divas but doesn't watch wrestling.
Yeah.
So she's, so what happened to man? Why is she not on there anymore?
Yeah,
and I'm just like, she's on TV now.
Yeah.
Like, she's too busy.
And that's the cool thing about it, because it's so
Right.
mainstream, and that's a lot of people back home. Like that, my friends, like, would throw on Total Divas on E, but they don't really watch wrestling. So it's cool that they have that.
Would you be for now seeing because from women's evolution to revolution to evolution, and I feel like Total Divas was a big part with what the Bella Twins did and the Total Bellas thing, and now having people outside of the wrestling bubble asking about what are they doing on wrestling television, and then tuning into wrestling as well because of that. Would you be for that again in this new era of the women's evolution and Thunderdome and all the other things?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of new things.
Right.
Yeah, of course, for sure. I mean, it's all about, we're on this huge platform. It's all about building our brands. Unfortunately, wrestling isn't going to last forever, like you see. And the Bella Twins are a perfect example of that, how, they've built such an amazing brand outside of wrestling and carried their name. And that's definitely something I wish to follow. And reality TV is awesome. It's a lot of fun. Right. It's great exposure. So, and there's a lot of exciting things in the works outside of wrestling going on as well. So,
which can't wait to talk about those things.
Yeah.
when we're able to.
Definitely.
But so we're talking about Tough Enough, where you met Paige and you met Sonya.
Yes.
And you guys ended up having a short-lived faction, Absolution.
Yeah.
Do you miss Absolution? Do you think it had a short run? I know it turned to Fire and Desire.
Right.
But Absolution, to me personally, was like that, oh, wow, this is a woman's strong faction. You got Paige, you got Mandy, you got Sonya, these three different, each woman's a different personality. Do you feel like it was short-lived, or do you feel like it ran it did its just due?
No, I think it was definitely short-lived, unfortunately, of course, because of Paige's injury. So I feel like if that didn't happen, it could have lasted a lot longer. But of course, we all know it's what's meant to be is meant to be, So, but I do think it was short-lived. I think it was so cool and also full circle that, Paige brought us in and we were on Tough Enough with her, and she was always kind of hard on us too. And so for her because Paige was a huge help for us, getting to the main roster and helping us with, any kind of questions we had. And she, we call her mom as a joke, which cause I'm pretty sure Paige is younger than me actually. So I'm like, I don't know why we call.
But she's been wrestling for
exactly, and she's been in the business.
Womb. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And so we, she's always been there, and she's still like that with us today. She's the best. But I think it could have lasted longer. Obviously, if that didn't happen, and it would have been fun. But led to Fire and Desire, and who knows if Sonya and I would have had this amazing feud that we just had and lead off to a SummerSlam one-on-one match. Who knows, maybe that wouldn't have happened. You never know.
This is true. I mean you spoke about the SummerSlam one-on-one.
Yeah, this is basically, the SummerSlam match was basically a culmination of about 8 months?
8 months. About
Yes.
8, well, not 8 to 9 months. So November till SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was.
Like that, how does it feel to, like, we talked about the women's revolution and evolution, right? Usually those major moments have to deal with one of the four horsewomen. As great as they are, it's usually, those are like the pinnacles of things, right? You guys had, a 20-minute match on SummerSlam, which was a highlight, which was highlighted. Amazing match, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
But it didn't feel like it was a 9-month storyline. Women usually don't get that 9-month storyline outside of the four hosts. I mean, we see what, Sasha Bailey and all the other characters, like, it takes years and years, but you guys, and it's not, who says it's over-ish with Otis now, now you're on Raw, like, right? So
it's not over, don't worry.
Exactly what I'm saying. So yeah, so now you're on Raw, and it's just, how does that feel, like having that major spotlight and having that tadpole?
It was awesome. I mean, honestly, I don't think any of us thought that it was gonna be that, I don't want to say successful, because we always hope that it's going to be, but it was also like, I don't think we realized that, like, swerving the fans also too, like, obviously it was primarily Otis and myself, but then, having Sonya and Dolphy Boy behind it all too, which, but having, and then it lead to Sonya and I think the start of that was kind of like that big promo segment that Sonya, most of it was Sonya and myself, but I think that was one of those moments where a lot of people in the back were like, wow, these two I think are going to have something big, which sometimes it just takes a little something like that, and people say that was like one of her best promos, and it was like, it just, people felt it, and then from then on we both continued to show a different side of ourselves, and we really had our own voice, and from the people in the back, the producers, Vince himself, and so many other people and the fans, like, being like, wow, this is a whole different side we've never seen of Mandy and Sonya, and they've made this story into something huge. And it almost was like we were the front runners of the storyline, when it was kind of like about Otis and me first, and or mainly maybe about Otis too, who knows? I mean, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, you know what I mean, when it comes to creative, but so we were really grateful that it turned into the way it did, and we never thought that we would have our blow off match at SummerSlam, Sonya and I.
Right. So
it was super surreal, and it was super cool to have that happen, and yeah, you just never know, I feel like just certain little moments happen, and we were like, I wonder if that was why we were able to get opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, it's so crazy, because it was a non-title match too. And that's what you're saying too about, so it's hard to get that time on a SummerSlam card,
because usually when it does lead to a blow-off feud, right? We always see it inserted. It's a trope. Yeah. It's it needs a title in front of it, right? It needs a title in between to make it feel important, right? And I get that. I get that thought process behind that, but I think this made it feel even more important that it wasn't about a title.
Right.
It was more about respect. And you said something about, I just wanted to comment on that. You said something about Otis, and it wasn't being about you guys. It was, maybe being about Otis. I think that's what made it even bigger.
Yeah.
Is because you've seen the little things that you and Sonya, the little looks and the little things, and you've seen those things, but it was about, and Otis was becoming this mega star. We know it happened at, from Elimination Chamber to Money in the Bank, and we all know those things, but you guys are the main, still now, right?
Yeah,
like still to this day. So I just think that says something, not only within how far we've came with the revolution, the evolution, but also with you as a character and as a wrestler, and we just talked about going from Tough Enough to going from fitness modeling, and then going to now actually holding your own story and being like your own cornerstone in WWE.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of come and go.
For sure, yeah.
So congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's giving you your roses right there.
I'm so blessed, and I'm so grateful, and I feel like the fans, of course, too, are just, I mean, it's amazing how much it's resonated with them, and they love it, and I think the realness of it, and the whole story was just really good, and I'm super grateful. So thank you.
No problem.
So you're about to make your upcoming debut on Mandy Night
yes.
Raw.
Yay, let 'em know.
With that upcoming, can you speak on any goals you have as far as in-ring or even out of the ring that you can speak of right now?
Honestly, I feel like it's a fresh start. I feel like change is always good. It was some crazy stuff went on the week of SummerSlam, and it was just an insane week. So I feel like we both needed some time, and I feel like now I can kind of be separate from that. I think we finished that whole thing, that whole story, and I feel like it'll be good to go a different path. And who knows? I mean, I feel like, not for nothing, Asuka's looking like she needs a new opponent.
Hey, let
not
them know.
Gonna lie, but I mean,
I think someone might be ready.
She needs a knee. I'm saying they got a knee strike. That's pretty. It's pretty locked and loaded.
I do love working Asuka, though. Not gonna lie. So it's one thing I'm pretty happy about. Besides the fact that she has the title, she's one of my favorite people to work with. Because she's amazing.
Okay, so now I have to ask, 30 minutes WrestleMania triple threat match, because I feel like Just one-on-one is a little too easy. Triple threat match.
Okay.
For a women's title. Undisputed women's title. We're talking one title.
One title. Okay.
One title. Who are you having in the match with you?
Oh, this is a good one. Triple threat. Okay, well, I always wanted to be in the ring with Trish Stratus because, you know, obvious reasons. She's the best in real life, too. She's just amazing. And I'm going to go with Trish Stratus and, Asuka. Why not? We were just talking about her because she's my favorite to work with, so might as well.
Asuka, man.
I feel like that'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be an incredible 30 minutes with Trish Stratus and Asuka and Mandy.
Yeah, I better. I better start practicing now.
I mean, it sounds like that's that's hard hitting. Yeah. Man, and before we let you go, because you've been gracious to give us a lot of your time.
Of course.
Any hidden talents that Mandy Rose have that the WWE universe may not know?
Hidden talents. Trying to think.
Let's see. Is it?
I mean, I can't really think of any hidden talents. I'd say like dancing, but that's not really hidden talent because now with TikTok, I've shown my dance moves.
This is
so
true.
I mean, it's a new generation.
I was like, this is.
I did dance my whole life, so I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm like the best, but I mean, I got some moves.
Yeah, there you go. See, I mean, but
moves.
a lot of, even though if you're not one of the 60 billion people on TikTok,
I mean, yeah.
But a lot of people have to follow you on TikTok
to
see your dance, but you're hidden talent. People wouldn't know that.
Exactly.
There you go.
They wouldn't know.
That's amazing.
Speaking of which, where can people find you on social media?
Okay, so I am Mandy Sachs on Instagram. Twitter, I am at WWE_Mandy Rose. TikTok, I believe I am, gosh, I gotta double check, but I think it's WWE_Mandy Rose as well, but I might have to check with that one. And we have a lot of exciting things coming up with Demandy's Donuts.
Yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes. See,
And,
I can't wait. And is your favorite donut still glazed donut? See, I was gonna bring you donuts here, and I had a whole thing.
Good thing you didn't, because everyone does, and I'm like donut out right now.
And I thought about that, but I really wanted to bring like
the
Krispy Kremes, like wear the hats and like
so
do a
good.
thing.
Oh,
but
that would have been cool.
the line was stupid long.
Oh, I know, it's crazy.
And I would have been late.
I love glazed donuts. I know.
But
so a lot of cool things. I also have a skincare line coming out.
Wait,
soon.
what? Okay,
I know,
let's
can
can we talk about the skincare line real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so yeah,
it's called Amorose.
Amorose,
and we've been working on it for like over almost a year actually now. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna have a toner, lifting serum, boosting moisturizer, an eye gel.
Yeah, all those.
I got you guys. I'll send you guys packages.
It.
So hopefully by the end of October, we'll see. I don't have a specific date yet, but it's really exciting.
So we talked about building a brand inside of WWE wrestling. This is incredible because now my mind is like, so you went from being going to school, being a speech pathologist.
Yep.
Right? And then going to the fitness modeling world, then being a reality star, being a WWE star, and now you're building, then love of donuts, and now building your own donut brand, and the process of building your own donut brand, and then doing skincare.
Yeah.
Why skincare, number one, and two, what can you not do?
Well, that's the question. No, so skincare, obviously, for, since I've been traveling and on the road and all that, it's such a important, thing for everyone, but it's also a huge business. It's a huge brand. And also, like, I love it because a lot of the women do tap into other markets, but I feel like none of the WWE women have yet. So hopefully I'm the first. So that's kind of cool. And I'm all about beauty. I mean, it's like I have the fitness background now. I'm, sports entertainer. I want to tap into the beauty market. I want to keep building my brand. The Demandys, obviously, the food market. I mean, I just want to be everywhere.
So we're gonna get like a whole dessert line of other than donuts eventually,
probably.
and then I can't wait.
Stay
this is
tuned.
exciting,
Yeah.
and I also can't wait to get the skincare line because it's hard out here in LA. Like,
I know. It's dry
especially
out
now.
here.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
like,
especially
not
now. It
used
gets
to
dry.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got you
Um,
covered.
But I appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for coming to our studio to the Neff Nest,
For sure.
as we like to call it. Hope you have safe travels and enjoy the Thunderdome. By the way, we didn't get to talk about that.
I know. It's pretty cool.
But
Yeah,
I'm jealous
cool.
that it's not live. People could be in it.
I know.
Because I would love to be in there with all the pyro.
I know. It is really cool.
Just convince the boss man to keep the roof on there.
Yeah.
Like even with
and we'll just have like
people. Yeah,
sections.
like right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe hopefully eventually. Hopefully if everything goes.
Fingers
yeah.
crossed.
Fingers
exactly.
crossed.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
No
Thank you
problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having
And
me.
I think the
fun.
best way to end this is basically saying, what can't Mandy Rose do?
What can Mandy Rose do, ladies
really
and
like
gentlemen?
that. That
What
should be
can
the title
Mandy?
of this.
That should be the title of this.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you. We'll catch you on the next one.